I am Dr. Abrar, and in addition to my chemistry lectures, I am going to start O-level biology lectures as well. So let's start with first topic, human blood circulatory system. I am starting with human blood circulatory system because students, they face many problems to understand the blood circulatory system. So in this lecture, we will study the structure of heart, and we will also understand that what are the main components of the blood circulatory system. The main components of the blood circulatory system are heart, the blood itself, and the blood vessels. And in this lecture, we will also understand what is double circulation. So let's start one by one. As I mentioned that the main organ and the main component of the human blood circulatory system is our heart. And this heart, human heart, has 4 chambers. These 4 chambers are left atrium, right atrium. These are the upper 2 chambers. The upper 2 chambers are called left atrium and right atrium, while the lower 2 chambers are called left ventricle and right ventricle. Collectively, these atrium, you will find sometime that collectively they are called atria. So the plural is atria and the singular is atrium, left atrium and right atrium. And the ventricles are the lower 2 chambers, left ventricle and right ventricle. Now keep in mind one more thing, that if this is the left part of the heart, so left part of the heart, either it is left atrium or left ventricle, it contains oxygenated blood. And this is the right part of the heart. This part contains deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated means without oxygen. Oxygenated blood means full of oxygen, rich in oxygen. So the left part of the heart contains oxygenated blood and the right part contains deoxygenated blood. So as I mentioned that heart has 4 chambers. So in order, this diagram which I draw here, it seems complicated. In order to make it simple, here I am drawing only the 4 squares which are representing the 4 chambers of the heart. And this one is left atrium. The upper chamber is called atrium. So this one is left atrium. Okay, let me explain here at this point why it is called left. Because it is bilaterally inverted. If something is right, which seems here, if it is my right hand, on the mirror it will be considered and it will be shown as left hand. So bilaterally inverted. So therefore in diagram this is called left side, because keeping in mind the rule that in mirror the things appear bilaterally inverted in the plane mirror. So that's why this is the left atrium. This is the left side of the heart, and this one is right atrium. And this is left ventricle. I am writing in short LV, left ventricle, and this is right ventricle. So as here, from here, the left part of the heart, as I mentioned, is containing oxygenated blood. So from here oxygenated blood will come, because atria or atrium, they receive the blood these upper two chambers, they receive the blood, and the ventricles, they send the blood out of the heart. So the upper chambers of the heart, they receive the blood from different parts of the body. For example, the left atrium, as we know that left part is containing oxygenated blood. So from where this blood should be coming, this oxygenated blood? Obviously it should be coming from the lungs, because lungs are the factories where the oxygenation is taking place, and lungs are the organs where oxygen is being added into the blood and carbon dioxide is being removed. So from the lungs, and the term, when we say the term lungs, so we must keep in mind that there is a term pulmonary. Pulmonary term is specific for lungs. So pulmonary vein will be sending the oxygenated blood towards the left atrium, oxygenated blood. And as the left atrium now contracts, so it will pump the blood towards the left ventricle. And from this left ventricle, the oxygenated blood will be sent to whole of the body to supply the oxygen to the body through aorta and through arteries, and then through arterioles, and then through arteries it will reach to each and every part of our body, toward our arms, towards the legs, toward digestive system, nervous system, brain, kidneys, to all parts, and skin, all parts of the body. The oxygenated blood will be supplied for supplying oxygen and for supplying other necessary materials, for example digested food and hormones and so many things. And then when the blood will reach to the tissues through capillaries, now the exchange of material will take place in the tissues, at tissues level. And now inside the cell, the cellular respiration will take place. The oxygen will be utilized and carbon dioxide will be produced as a result of cellular respiration. And now carbon dioxide will be collected. Now this is called deoxygenated blood. Now this deoxygenated blood will be collected from through all of the body by a system of veins, and these veins now will open in the right atrium. So the right atrium will contain deoxygenated blood. So right atrium will receive deoxygenated blood, and now deoxygenated blood from the right atrium will enter into the right ventricle, and from the right ventricle, as this is deoxygenated blood, it should be sent to the lungs for oxygenation. And once again pulmonary term will be used. So pulmonary artery will carry the deoxygenated blood towards the lungs for oxygenation. So in this way, from here, from the body, from the lungs, oxygenated blood is coming through pulmonary vein to the left atrium, and then to the left ventricle, and left ventricle will contract and will supply the blood through aorta and through arteries to all of the body. Now oxygenation, the oxygenated blood will be supplied to all parts of the body, and then the blood will start getting deoxygenated. This deoxygenated blood will be collected from all of the body through veins, to a system of veins, and it will enter into the right atrium, and then it will be sent to the right ventricle, and then it will be sent to the lungs for oxygenation, and the process repeats. So here let's understand. Say that these are the pulmonary veins. PV stands for pulmonary vein. So pulmonary veins are getting oxygenated blood. As we said, left part is containing oxygenated blood. So the pulmonary veins are receiving oxygenated blood, and this oxygenated blood enters into the right, first it is entering into the left atrium, and then into the left ventricle, and then from here the left ventricle, when it will contract with force, so this oxygenated blood through these walls will be carrying to the aorta. This is aorta, and it is containing many branches. As the aorta emerges from the heart, it starts dividing, and then this oxygenated blood is supplied to all of the body. And then through the system of veins, the deoxygenated blood, it will enter into the right atrium through vena cava. VC stands for vena cava, and this is the main vein, major vein, vena cava. So the right atrium receives the deoxygenated blood, then this right atrium contracts, it sends the blood to the right ventricle, and then through this right ventricle the deoxygenated blood is sent through pulmonary artery towards the lungs for oxygenation. So now let me explain what is double circulation. It is linked with it. What is double circulation? It means that systemic circulation as well as the pulmonary circulation is taking place simultaneously in our body, and heart is the central organ which is conducting this two types of both systemic as well as the pulmonary circulation. On one hand, our heart is receiving deoxygenated blood from the body. From the body, it is receiving deoxygenated blood and then sending this deoxygenated blood to the lungs for oxygenation. And in the lungs, the oxygenation takes place, and the oxygenated blood is sent back to the heart, and this oxygenated blood then heart pumps it to the body. So it means that on one hand, if heart is the central position, heart is the central organ. So on one hand, on one side, heart is receiving oxygenated blood from the lungs and sending this oxygenated blood to the body. And from the body, the deoxygenated blood is being collected and being sent to the lungs for oxygenation. So on one hand, from heart to the lungs, it is pulmonary circulation, and on the other hand, from the heart to the body, it is systemic circulation. On one hand, it is pulmonary circulation, on other side, it is systemic circulation. This is the concept of double circulation. So in this way, double circulation is taking place. And I repeat, in order to summarize my lecture, that heart is the central organ, blood itself is the main liquid fluid in which all the materials are carried on. Oxygen, digested food, hormones, waste materials, they are being taken from one place to another, because the blood circulatory system is the transport system of our body. And then the blood vessels. There are mainly three types of blood vessels: arteries, veins, and blood capillaries, which I will explain in my next lecture in detail. So thank you very much.